Uh. Knocked his ass out and kissed him on the cheek. He fucked up just by thinking I was sweet. I run the city, might have thought I was some cliques. You never heard someone like this upon the beat. Tutti fruity, the booty duty is jury duty. Moody foodies, jacuzzis is filled with bougie booties. All of this money, don't know how to count it, man. I think I need a computer. I can't live in deep, man. I live at the funeral. I got no need for a shooter. I'm getting bigger. Do you wanna reconsider? Lost control of a killer. I'm getting bigger. The whole label's drug dealers, If you build it, homie, they will come. If you turning up to save me some. Drop down to get your ego on. I don't care for boring people. I think you're lame. I only politic with goons while out the frame. Better take another shot, bitch. It's not a game. I'll beat it out the frame. Baraka waka flock of flame. I am a legend, man. You know that I have a problem with acting a fool. I don't talk to police. I know nothing. I swear to God that shit is not true. I'm a barbarian, hopping adrenaline, looking for something to do. I'm remarkable. I'm on a roll. If you need education, I'll take you to school. I'm getting bigger. Do you wanna reconsider? Lost control of a killer. I'm getting bigger. Wake up, brush off, get clean, look good. Put on 2 chains, flexing, but what's up? So fly, 2C, be you, look good. I win, you lose, fuck you, what's up? I don't care for boring people. I think you're lame. I only politic with goons while out the frame. Better take another shot, bitch. It's not a game. I'll beat it out the frame. Baraka waka flock of flame. Yeah, I'm the shit. Now I think I will go catch a body. Fuck your bitch. And then I will go take a potty. No teriyaki, ya rock Kawasaki. If you're go you can hop in the shotty. She popping the molly. We're copping the squatty. Oh, cookie, loving the body. I'm getting bigger. Do you wanna reconsider? Lost control of a killer. I'm getting bigger. Sing this. 1 time. 2 time. 3 time. Hey.
What is happening, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, El Capi Matans, and tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we are going to get into a little bit of the draft discussion. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it is draft week. The Dolphins, although they don't have a first-round pick, they have speculation that they might move up into the first round. Who knows? Maybe there's someone to be fleeced. You know how much Chris Greer loves taking someone to the cleaners. Maybe there's somebody late in the draft that the Dolphins really want. And, we'll get into a little bit of that. Also, maybe they trade back. Maybe they acquire more picks. Maybe we find out that we lose all our picks because we did some talking to Tom Brady, who's been winking at the Dolphins still. I don't know, which wouldn't be a problem now at this point, but, they love to railroad the Dolphins. Any way to take us down a peg off our beautiful throne where we sit high above looking at the rest of you losers beneath us because you're not fans of the Dolphins. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button and subscribe. And if you're new, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, make the mild journey over here to YouTube and subscribe here on the network. We'll also get into the news about Aaron Rodgers finally going to the Jets. Who would have thunk it? It's only been being talked about for 14 million days now. Honestly, I thought it was going to happen a little bit later. It was going to be that whole draft day, drama. Aaron Rodgers loves the limelight. He wants to rule the world. And, this puts them under the gun, to say the least. We'll get into some of that talk. Also, what else? Oh, Dolphins had a visitor today, offensive tackle. We'll get into that and who he is and where he from and why it's interesting. And also there was a little bit, something Tua said, and we'll get into that. I posted it earlier. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we'll also defer to you guys in the chat on who you think the Dolphins should draft, who you guys like, what positions. We can break down some of this stuff. We can take a player in a position. We'll pull up all their comps, all the, what NFL Network says about them, PFF, Athletic, and just get into the nitty gritty a little bit. I also have a couple of the boys in the back, but before I bring them up, I want to make sure everyone is hitting the like button, like I said, and checking out all the great content we have here through the network. Myself, El Capitan with the Fins Tailgate. You got Color doing the color commentary, doing the mornings, the afternoons, doing some co-hosting. You guys also have Ali Da Persian doing his broken takes, going to be starting up some early morning stuff here in the future. DTA, which does the Dolphins debriefs on a little bit of got some personal stuff, but that's all right. DTA's home is here, and when he's got his family and stuff taken care of, he'll come back. And Lewis, aka the Rabid Dolphin, going to be starting his program here in the near future. And then Shake Money, as you guys know. If you haven't caught Shake, you haven't been subscribed to the network. Shake has been pulling all dayers in the midday, and much obliged, keeping you guys entertained, keeping you guys engaged, and we really appreciate it. Great ways to support the program is through Cash App and Venmo. Even better way is to support through a super chat or join and become a member. Guys, the membership is the best. Shout out to all the members. We really appreciate you guys. Shout out to the mods who help keep, this channel somewhat respectable. And also, guys, make sure you're hitting the link in the description for Fanatics, officially licensed official partners. Check out Fanatics link, buy all your gear. Let them know we sent you by using our link. Also, guys, we can get some of our gear. Going to be rolling out the whole setup for all the new merch and everything like that here in the near future, probably in the next week or so. So keep a lookout where you guys can get all your great stuff. Dude, like we've got these flip-flops right here, and they're all orange, and they look fire. We'll go through that in the merch store here directly. Also, check out our affiliates with Doobie Energy Drink. Get yourself the Dub. Get yourself the Doobie. If you're getting to the gym and you need the energy, I'm telling you, you need to get yourself Doobie. I've been taking Doobie. I've been hitting the gym. I put the order in. Shit's fire. It works out great. So also, make sure you're checking out our friends at Backroom Collections. If you use offer code TFTG, you'll get 10% off of your purchases from them. One-of-a-kind canvas art and all that good stuff. Shout out to everybody in chat, getting in here early and often. Always my main man, California, coming in here. Family member. Thank you, California. Been day one since the day one. Appreciate you, brother. Scott Jackson in this month. What's going on, buddy? The worst QB in the AFC East again. No. I mean, I don't know about that. I would say that if you really want to be real, the Patriots have the worst QB. They have the worst QB and QB room in the entire friggin' NFL, really, if you want to be. I don't know about that. Resident Bills fan, Dudfins, third in the East. Michael K, shout out to the member. Appreciate you, bud. Mark in here, too. What's going on, Mark? Salute. Dolphineer, salute, my guy. Love you, too, buddy. Appreciate you, brother. Jamie up in this love them Fins, but damn, Jimmy, come home. I mean, listen. Goodness gracious. Crazy Doll fan, what's up, buddy? Salute. Jay. Trading back goes against the win now narrative. You know what? Great point, Jay. This team, outside of tight end, maybe another offensive lineman, and from what all the fans want, a premier running back. You don't need any of those things. I mean, Dolphin fans all over the place will say, we need a right tackle. We need I don't want to ever see Eichenberg or Austin Jackson ever again. Blah, blah, blah. It's all right. Relax, homie. Again, I already see the foundation of excuses coming when they start with this. We need offensive linemen. We need this. We don't. You don't need anything. What you need to do is do your fucking job and get the shit done. That's what you need to do. Not who you don't have is what I need to get. You need to just get it done. Stop playing. Stop BSing. Stop making excuses. Will I take more people and bring up, my metaphorical floor? Sure. Or my metaphorical ceiling? Sure. Do I want these things? Yes, but we don't need anything, Dolphins fans. I don't care that the Jets just got Rodgers. He can poo-poo on him. He'll get egg on his face anyhow, along with some other stuff messing around there. He's in a big market now, going to be trouble, going to be expectations. It's going to be a slow train wreck. We'll get into more of that. Jets gang. What's up, buddy? Amicus, another member, Bills fan, Bills Mafia, but a member of the channel because he's a good friend. What's going on, Amicus? Raphael, salute my man, member up in this month. What's going on, buddy? Kevin Lee, what is up, buddy? We're going to sweep those Jets. Listen, I agree. It's the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Is it a more formidable opponent? Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about Zach Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. I remember a lot of comps out of Jets fans saying, oh, yeah, this is going to be our Aaron Rodgers. He's this and that. Now they went ahead and got him. But if you want to be real, this is the second time in 15 years that the Jets acquire an aging quarterback from the Packers. It didn't work out last time. I don't foresee it working out this time. I see it raising their hopes only to crash them down from a higher altitude. Higher altitude Jets crashing. The metaphors are right there. I was pretty good. You're welcome, everybody. So, yeah. My guy, Adam, what's up, buddy? Salute. So, listen, the campaign, Kevin, to make Cook a Dolphin is on every front. On every way, shape, and form. Cook's management, Cook's, where he trains with Nick Hicks. They've made no secret about it. The Vikings know, the Dolphins know, everybody under the sun knows. You don't make a trade when you hold all the cards. The smart play is to either trade during the draft, which I don't think that's the move because honestly, the Dolphins don't want to pay the money that Cook is going to require via trade. So could he end up a Dolphin? Yes, but I think that could go by the wayside if he ends up, if the Dolphins end up drafting a running back, and that's the reality. What's up, Aquavision? Salute, my guy. Jose, what's going on? All we need is addition by subtraction. Cut Deshaun. Dang, we're going to cut Deshaun. Dang. What's up, Dolphins Realtor? Salute, my guy. Yeah, Jimmy had 56 tonight. I know it. Liz, what's happening? Craig, salute. I know, guys. So, yeah, salute everybody. I'm going to go ahead and bring the boys up. What up, Ali?
What's up?
Color, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man.
That's what's up, man. What
Hey,
y'all doing,
listen,
man?
I went and seen him in concert with the wife this weekend.
How was that, bro?
It
That
was
dude's
great,
really good.
dude. It was fun as hell. Listen, he's not
That's
so
not
much
even
a
really my
rapper.
genre of music either, but that's good stuff.
Me neither, bud. Not gonna lie. I'm more of a hardcore scream fucking like me and my wife. That's what we want to go see. We want to go see some Asking Alexandria, or just I can name a bunch of bands. A lot of people don't know who they are, but some people do. But I want to see some screamo death metal fucking giddy up. That's what we go see. But we went to go see this guy, and actually, you know what? I might be able to pull up a video. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull it up where we seen him. Yeah, I can. Here we go. Just to give you guys a little look of it was so much fun. We had a blast. And it was a super small venue. So like
Do you like Under Oath?
Oh, I love Under Oath. I know they're gonna be playing in St. Augustine here.
My friend's going to that, I think. He posted
word.
something about it.
I've seen Under Oath like 6 times, not gonna lie. So again, my wife and I have watched. That's our genre. So it's one of the reasons we it worked out between us, because we got a lot in common for that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull this up. Huh. I don't know how to do this.
I pretty much like everything but country and soft rap.
All right, so this is gonna take a second. Let me know if this works out. So hold on, we're gonna do this. Yeah.
I used to dislike country too, color, but now I'm starting to like it. It's starting to grow on me.
Nah. So can you guys see it? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, he looks like you.
All right.
Don't hear it though.
You don't hear it?
Nope.
You can't hear it for real?
For real.
Damn. Why isn't it coming through?
Because when you share it, you have to select the audio thing. Remember?
No, I don't know. I don't remember what you're talking about. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Select the audio thing.
When you share the screen, like
our freaking
sharing.
leader is a boomer, everybody.
Yes,
sharing.
dude, you're straight up.
When you hit share, there's like a little checkbox you also have to hit that says for the audio.
All right, hold up. Let's do this again.
But then again, he has Apple color, so who knows? They may have screwed something up for him.
Oh, now it's about my Apple. Now it's
Hey, only lemurs follow Apple, to be honest. If you're a free thinker, you have Android.
If you want to get bugs in your shit and fucking straight up lose your whole deal.
If you're smart enough and know how to use it
No,
properly,
listen, who wants to sit here and deprogram and debug your shit all the time?
I don't have to. Well, you shouldn't be going to those kind of sites, El Capitan. What can I tell you?
No, I can't even go to those kind of sites. You fucking asshole. No, I can't even fucking go to like Sports Illustrated or something, because they're all freaking tethered and stuff. I mean, it's just.
I hear you.
Give me Apple. All my shit syncs up. Everything's together.
Once you have Apple, you can't get out of it. I get you.
Yeah, I'm locked in. They've got part of my soul. So I mean,
I hear you.
In the meantime, shout out to California. How you doing, man? All other members in the chat.
Yes,
including but not limited to Andres, if you're around. Dolphins Realtor, I see you, man. Pamela, and I also see AB. Shout out to AB. I haven't been able to see him. The only time I can see him is in StreamYard or on the Finn's Tailgate account, because I have him personally blocked. So I haven't seen him in weeks. But shout out to AB. How you doing? I see your comments tonight.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, man, it's just aggravating. I can't go nowhere without him like just needling me. So I let him needle me when I'm in StreamYard because I can't avoid it. It's the Finn's Tailgate account, so it just comes through.
Never let any man needle you, Color. I mean,
that's why I blocked him. I don't. Precisely why I blocked him.
He can needle you in consent. I mean, this is the 21st century. He can needle you in a dark room if he wants. Consensual.
How many needles does it take to needle Color?
Just one big fat one.
Oh God! All right.
In case
Yep.
for all you people out there that were born before 2015 or born after 2015, needling is an older way to say trolling.
Shout out to Kevin Lee with the $5 donee. What's going on, buddy? Appreciate you, Kevin. Wondering why we haven't touched Wilkins' contract yet, guys. Something fishy about that. Big move coming somehow. Have a feeling. Draft or something. So, if you want to know where I sit, Kevin, the 10.7, I think it is, that Wilkins is making this year is roughly what an extension year to year guaranteed money, I think, is the maximum he is worth. So an extension, which he wants, and $16 million a year, which he wants, I wouldn't pay that. But if you're in this metaphorical 2-year window and you want to give this team every opportunity to win, what you can get trading him away versus what you can get keeping him for 10 point whatever is almost equal. It really is. Because if you got rid of Christian Wilkins, the hole in which you'd have to fill in the loss of him. Now, he's not like a super big impact player, but it's a hard position to fill this late in the game. You know what I'm saying? Even with the $10.7 million you'd get back on the roster. So I think the Dolphins are going to ride it out. They're going to talk contracts, promise contracts, and plus Christian Wilkins knows that this year will produce next year either a big-time payday from the Dolphins or somebody else, or they'll have to franchise tag him, which what's the franchise tag for a defensive tackle coming up next year? I mean, we've had a couple of big-time defensive tackle signings. It's got to be close to $16 million anyhow. You know what I'm saying? For 1-year deal. So, but I would have traded him already, personally. That's what I would have done. I'd already got some picks. Sunsing.
So just so you know, the franchise tag for defensive tackles is actually $18.9 million.
Jesus, bro. And it's going to be
transition
up from that
tag is $16 million.
So they'll probably transition tag him.
Maybe.
That's probably what they'll do. So, yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was 16 somewhere. So, wow, dude, 18 million. Oh, my God. I'll let him walk before I pay him 18 million. I don't give a fuck how big of a hole it is.
I want to keep him. However, the value of what we could get.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I would rather take multiple players at the lower cost to fill.
You want to pay him $70 million for like guaranteed the next 4 years? I'm not interested in that, bro. I'm not for a 4-year extension, I should say. So like, nah. I would rather give Zach Sealer friggin' $8 million a year and keep him for 2 more years on an extension. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Kevin Lee again says, I say trade Wilkins, give Baltimore a first to a let's go. Listen, buddy. Now you're speaking to my heart. I would say do that. But I would have already made this move. I would have already made this move. This would have already happened. This would have already happened.
It couldn't happen though until we had a clear picture as to number one, what Tua's value was at, hence the 5th-year option, and number 2, what Lamar Jackson was willing to, show the world what he's willing to play for. I don't know, because it seems like he's going to ride it out in Baltimore.
I don't know. It's gone super quiet on the Lamar Jackson.
I cannot foresee Lamar Jackson playing this year for $36 million. I just can't imagine that.
So I can see him playing. I could see him playing for $36 million worth of playtime.
I got you there.
It's no different than I've seen Lamar play these last 2 years.
Yeah, agreed.
You get what you buy for.
But that only continues to support the narrative that he's not the MVP he was his second year. And
You
it
know what?
continues to keep his value, at base level.
And this is why the NFL will continue to wear the label that African American quarterbacks are treated unfairly.
Yeah.
And they will,
I mean-
because I'm sorry, it's the truth.
If anything is going to happen with Lamar Jackson this season, it's not going to happen on Thursday night. It won't be till Friday during the second round of the draft that it's going to happen.
Ali, I've been saying that since the get-go. It all hinges on what happens in the first round. If the Ravens select a quarterback or move up and select a quarterback or trade for some quarterback already in the NFL by trading back or pulling off the move like Kevin Lee says with the Dolphins or something
But hear
like
me
that.
out. The Ravens don't need to select a quarterback in the first round to actually show that they're moving off of Lamar.
So
all they
right.
need, hear me out. All they need to do is fill the actual needs, either on their offense line, anything to support who their new quarterback is going to be during this draft from the first round all the way through. Because you think about it, if you're getting 2 first-round picks, and let's say it's a 2024 pick, that's the draft to draft a quarterback. So those are the picks they're going to want. They're not going to want 2023 picks. Just being honest. That's just my opinion.
Well, they missed their chance. It looks like they missed their chance to get Hopkins, so you never know.
If I'm the Ravens, right? And even if I'm the Dolphins, at this point, I have my eye on that draft because there's 2 QBs. You can take either one, and they would definitely lead you into a better future than where we're at right at this point. For both.
What are you talking about? Hendon Hooker or something?
No, Hendon Hooker is going to be this draft, and I think, and no offense to
y'all,
you're
talking about next year. You're talking about next year's draft. I'm sorry.
Yes, next year, 2024's draft, I think is going to be a very
I agree with you that there's a lot of great quarterbacks coming out next draft, Ali. But the problem is that is this a team that you're going to hand the keys to the kingdom to a rookie?
In the Ravens' perspective, yes.
Well, the Ravens,
there still is. Hey,
Ravens,
I mean, as odd as it was, there still is the Joe Fregosa take too, which was that Lamar gets traded to another team, and Tua goes to Baltimore, and we select Hendon Hooker with Baltimore's 22nd
but I'm going to
pick.
throw something at you guys. You guys you've probably thought about it, but it's probably been a while since you actually talked about it. Tyreek Hill has already tried out one of these new quarterbacks from 2024. In fact,
not wrong. We know that
he's going to be the number 1 overall pick, to be honest. And if he already worked out with the guy, maybe
if he ends up being the number 1 overall pick, if he ends up being the number 1 overall pick, or even in the top 5, that would mean that this season will be an epic failure, and that quarterback, GM, a lot of people are gone, and so
that's true. I mean, there's that
even
aspect.
if we're selecting one of these young quarterbacks coming up in the top 5 or top 10, it's with a whole new coach, it's with a whole new regime, and right now someone else has got a different blueprint and stuff. Man, I just couldn't. Man, Kevin Lee, guys, can you imagine Lamar, Cook, Hill, Waddle? I mean, bro.
I think Dalvin Cook would probably be off the table if we made a move to get Lamar. But fair enough.
Unless Dalvin's willing to say, yeah, I'll take.
Well, I mean, Kevin, again, when I made the broken take on Ali's last show about getting Cook and Henry, now that's obviously is broken as it was because Henry's going somewhere else, but. I was talking about being able to get Cook off the street for like $8.5 million. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's a real possibility if they cut him.
Kevin's been hacking into my Madden account looking at my ultimate.
He definitely has.
Because this is my ultimate team. I do have Lamar, Cook, Hill, and Waddle on my team. So
I don't know how you stop that. Like, what do you do to a team that has this? I would just say, listen, Waddle or Hill, you're going to run a post, and the other guy's going to run a fly. And that's it. Everything else will just and Cook, if it's a passing play, I just need you to sit in the flat on the underneath wherever the other 2 wide receivers are. And Lamar,
I just can't imagine how Lamar wouldn't be the most deadly weapon ever in the history of the NFL with this team that we have. I just can't. I don't know why people just dog it so much, man.
I don't know, but it is what it is. Again, round and round we go. When we look at the draft and the Lamar situation, I don't see anything happening in the first round. I don't know. Right now it's gotten so quiet with all that stuff that to me this is all getting pushed till next offseason. But I could be wrong.
Again, and that would suggest a scenario where he either doesn't play or he only plays 36 million worth, like you said.
Yeah, he might play 10, 11, 12 games, something like that.
But it occurred to me earlier.
Just enough to not get fined, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It occurred to me earlier when you were solo that somebody had asked about or I guess the Dalvin Cook discussion came up, and I just had a thought. Like, I've heard people say that certain quarterbacks of really great stature would not want to come play behind this offensive line as an argument to why we should be, focusing on the offensive line and not the quarterback and all that. Like, in other words, it don't matter if you bring Brady in because he wouldn't dare play behind this offensive line, right?
I've heard this narrative.
Right, you've heard that before, right? Well, why doesn't that apply to a guy like Dalvin Cook? You think he wants to come run behind this offensive line?
I even said it.
I mean, I know he does. I know it's not about that. I'm just saying I'm throwing the narrative back in their face. You know what I mean?
Listen, I've already said it in my monologue starting into the show. I'm not opposed to upgrades on the offensive line.
All of a sudden, a player
don't start taking it and making it that it's what we're gonna need no matter what.
Right.
It's already setting the friggin' layout for the excuses of failure in this fan base. I'm sick of it. Shut the hell up about it. I don't care if we get more guys or don't. My expectations are to win this division.
Right. And the logical argument to my narrative would be, well, Dalvin Cook would elevate this offensive line. But remember, players can't do that. Remember?
Well, only the players they cherry pick that can do something.
Exactly.
Can't do something color.
Exactly. Quarterbacks can't elevate an offensive line. No, quarterbacks can't do that, but somehow Dalvin Cook can.
Let me ask you this, Color. Let me ask you this. These certain quarterbacks of a certain stature or running backs or whatever position they are, that we say, oh, these guys are elite or they're the greatest of all time or whatever.
Is one of them named Tom Brady? Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
I understand. But however, if they really hold those titles as being elite, all pro or greatest of all time, if they can't play against the offensive line that we give them. Because you think about it, the greats can play behind any line, any player, doesn't matter because they elevate, as you said, everybody else.
Right.
But if they can't get the same, put up the same numbers or at least, make them play better, then they don't have the right to hold those titles of being elite or all pro or greatest of all time. Just being honest. So
yeah, it is nonsense. It's nonsensical. We see quarterbacks elevate people all the time. You see running backs elevate. People can elevate other people around them. That's what makes great football players. Don't tell me that Barry Sanders didn't elevate the entire team of the friggin' Lions his entire tenure. It's nonsensical, and you sound like a fool. When you say you need to have other players or else it's not fair, you're making excuses because your take is skewed because you have a crush, a man crush or a lady crush or a other crush, onto and you're already laying out excuses for why we haven't gotten a full, competent picture of what this kid can be because the O-line isn't fixed, I'm not going to stand.
Exactly. See, exactly. Because, yes, the elite quarterbacks, yes, they do need support to be successful and win championships. Absolutely. But they do not need 1A and 1B at every single position on the 53-man roster.
It'd be nice. And listen, the way they're building super teams.
If you gave a guy like Aaron Rodgers, if you gave guy like Aaron Rodgers a B at every position up and down the team, he'd win a championship. This is all there is to it.
How many? I don't know. I'm not even now. Yes, if you got an aging quarterback and like an Aaron Rodgers, and I see, Dolphins realtor put it at this point, he needs an O-line. Yes, I agree with that. If your quarterback is aging, the deal is this.
Well, I'd agree with that on Brady, sure.
One of the perks of having a young quarterback is the fact that his youth is supposed to be what elevates the football team. That's what you're supposed to get when you draft a young quarterback. Their dynamic football, their athleticism, all that stuff. We're just not getting that. And that's just is what it is. Shout out to Michael K. Vegas doesn't think Dolphins are the best team in the East. Yeah, I got it. You know what? Vegas doesn't think that, I don't care. What do you say? I mean, geez.
No, but I mean, I would agree. I agree with that. If you're talking about Tom Brady, I mean, yeah, I agree that an aged Tom Brady, especially that aged, I mean, talent-wise and skill-wise and needing of an offensive line, yeah, I agree. He's going to need a lot more than he did when he was a spring chicken, absolutely.
Look, would I say yes, sell the farm and fortify the line? Sure. I'm not opposed to getting better at any position. It's one of the reasons why I don't take off trading or getting a better quarterback at the position. That's it. What I am opposed is that if we don't do this, we're holding back Tua, essentially laying up the narrative again that this team is sabotaging him. I'm sick of it. It's excuses. It's fodder. And the fans, the sycophants in this fan base use it to push the goalpost again and again. We're never going to get Tua to be the quarterback that he can be until he has $150 million in his bank account. That'll be the next shit we hear out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be this until that. He can't be that until this. How about show me what you've done and stop telling me what you're going to fucking do? How about that?
To quote a great college professor, it's complete idea laundering, dude. That's all it is. It started with Tannehill. Well, it started earlier than Tannehill, but Tannehill was an example of it for 7 years. Constant, we just need to do this. We just need to do. Well, he didn't have that. Well, it's his 5th offensive system. What is that? Like a great quarterback, like makes his own system. Like he is the system.
You don't try to figure out what his system is. You either create a system for the quarterback and they operate it in an elite manner, or you've got fucking problems. Now, I will say this. Mike McDaniel coming here and creating a system for Tua, he operates it in an elite manner. He does.
Sure. But the very system itself that encompasses all of it, the West Coast system, was literally invented to have a successful offense despite having a limited quarterback. Yeah. It's literally why it was created.
All right, so let's maneuver here, okay? Speaking of offensive line, the Dolphins had a visitor today. They brought in right tackle from the Broncos, Cameron Fleming. Now, this guy isn't a world beater. He's not an all-pro. He's nothing like that, but he started 111 games. He came in last year early when what's his name for Butch Berry when God, he used to play for Billy Turner went down as their right tackle for the Broncos. He came in for a pinch, played well. We know that O-line did a decent job for them last year. He's 30 years old. We have Butch Berry here now. Do I think this guy signs before the draft? No. If the Dolphins are willing to cut, if he's willing to, take a deal and it be worth some money, like a shell kind of deal, I think they end up bringing this guy in. I'm not opposed to depth pieces like this. I think this is exactly the type of stuff that the team is looking to do because guess what? All this solidify the right side. We can count on Armstead missing 3 or 4 games this year. You know what I'm saying? We can count on, Austin Jackson got injured all year last year. Can we count on him to come play? People go down on the O-line. It's a big time ordeal. These boys go down. So
weird thing is how quick we moved off a guy like Shaheen, but not a guy like Jackson.
Well, hold up. Shaheen had 1 year, played decent, and he was concussion prone, injury prone. Shaheen never,
He had good hands though.
So Fleming, just so you're aware, last season he had about 373 snaps on the left side, but he had almost double that, 603 snaps on the right side. While he allowed 7 sacks and 28 total pressures last season. Also, come to find out, he's a former 4th rounder by the New England Patriots, where he played at least 14 games.
You know how Greer loves himself some Patriot trash.
8 seasons in the league. Fleming was cut by the Patriots in 2015 and joined the team's practice squad. He does have 2 Super Bowl rings. I don't know if that means anything, but he used to play for the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants in 2020. Where he
ain't afraid of success. That's what the Super Bowl ring
means. He got some Super Bowl bonuses in his contract.
He's been with a championship squad. He's been on the big stage.
He did start all 16 games with the Giants, though, just so you know that in 2020. So he does have starting experience.
Listen, I'm not opposed to bringing a guy like this in if the Dolphins don't end up grabbing some depth piece. Again,
add that to the list of players that have playoff experience on our team.
And you know what? And as someone in the chat said that some move that has been rumored is a smokescreen, this could be a smokescreen for all we know. That's why they didn't sign him.
We were saying this earlier. The Chris Greer is playing the game right now. He'll bring players in. He'll do this. He'll do that. It's the things that don't get done that I wonder.
Yeah, this is true.
So just something to keep an eye on. You'll be seeing more of these players come and make visits as the week goes on. Again,
am I okay with it as
not
a camp
for nothing.
body? Yeah, I'm okay with that. As
Contingency plans, contingencies as well. Something I wonder is in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round, even if we took them all together and said, you know what, we're only making 1 pick this year and picking somebody in the middle of the 1st round, it doesn't mean that this guy is going to have an impact this season. It really doesn't. I don't care what position you put him in. Outside of tight end or running back, I really don't see them unless they're a knock out of the park. If it's an offensive lineman, chances are the guy will be a piece of shit and never play for us. You know what I'm saying? As far as how we've been doing on offensive line.
Unless you got some kind of scrappy fullback that you've been looking at.
Let me run one by you guys. Because there's a guy that I thought would be a good pick. Then come to find out, he tore his ACL or something happened to him, either at the combine
lineman.
Or
what is he? Tackle, guard.
He's a guard. Andrew Voorhees, guy out of USC, and before he got injured, he was supposed to be a pretty good prospect, but now because of his injury, and he's going to have to sit out maybe a year. People are saying that he may drop to the 4th or 5th round. Would you take a chance on that kind of a guy with a 4th or 5th round pick, knowing the fact that he has to?
He's got a torn pectoral.
I don't know if it's a pectoral. Let me see what it is. Let me find out what it is. Give me a second.
So if he's got an injury, I would say, yeah, watch out. He could probably end up being a Dolphin because you know how much fucking Chris Greer loves himself from injured football players. So, that guy's probably right at the top of their list.
Fountain of youth, man. Fountain of youth.
Give me a second.
Voorhees high on my board.
And just go have him soak in some of that salt water at the beach, and he'll be fine, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what he's going to do?
So I guess he got injured at his pro day or something. Tore ACL.
Let me see if I can find.
Man, that's a lot of weight to be putting on a torn ACL in recovery. And, another thing is, I don't know the answer to this because I'm not a doctor and I don't follow ACL injuries. I know that when you break a bone,
play one on TV.
No, but I know that when you break a bone, it fills in with cartilage and calcium and all that and makes it stronger than it ever was. Is that how it works with ACLs? Because the style of offense that we run and the things we require our offensive linemen to do are not very conducive to somebody that's got problems with their ACL. Just saying.
My understanding of a torn ACL, and I'm sorry, I apologize, El Capitan. My understanding of a torn ACL is if you don't have the surgery that you're supposed to have that go along with it, you will end up tearing it again. Until you have that surgery, it's just going to get worse. That's what I was told. So
his ACL is torn?
Yes, ACL.
That's terrible. So right now, before the injury, Andrew Voorhees from USC, 6'6", 310 pounds. He was ranked 5th in the guards. His NFL comparison is Tavon Jenkins. PFF has a comparison to him for Max Sharping. Listen, his pros is that he's got 5 seasons of starting experience, steps into his run fits and quality angles, consistently played well in hands to drive blocks, leg churn booster blocks, engage and seal, reacts quickly to move front post snap. Some of his cons are more catcher than puncher, allowing some pocket push, needs to do a better job of sliding feet and constrict gaps. Very average climber to quickness to the second level. So not really a guy you're going to have pulling, which now with an ACL injury, that is going to take a mega step back. If this guy slides into all the stuff,
and all the stuff they said was
far
good
down the draft, I could see us taking him. But anything other than that, no, I don't.
Okay, so 4th and 5th, you don't want to touch it. But if he falls to the 6th,
all the things that it said he does good is precisely why he tore his ACL.
Or I don't know. We'll see. But he tore it at his pro day, which is insane to think that you're at your pro day tearing shit. I mean, it's
if memory serves me right, he was doing some type of shuttle drills or some type of drill, and he couldn't finish the drill because he tore it. Something.
I think of like shuttle drills and stuff like that, and Austin Jackson putting out that drill tape that he had, and man, bro, how unathletic that man looks.
So what do you guys? I've been asking the question. I don't mean to change gears so abruptly, but I've been asking the question
real quick. Everybody hit the like button, please. Let's get the likes up. I think we've only got
exactly. I'm not shifting gears until everybody hits the like button.
Let's hit the friggin' like button. We've got half as many likes as we got people in the room. Please get the likes up, everybody. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Press those little hearts. I've been sitting here
trying to make this right-hand turn on red, and you're approaching, and you refusing to turn your right-hand blinker on.
Embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing.
Waste a whole other 30 seconds of my life to find out you're turning right.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's just as easy as hitting your right-hand blinker.
Get the friggin' likes up, bro. Get them up, please. Go ahead, Color.
So I've been asking the question, and I haven't really got anybody to bite on talking about it so much. But all these mocks I keep seeing and doing and all that, I've noticed this guy Overshown. Everybody is real high on him, but he's falling to the 5th through 7th rounds in every mock I've seen. Man, what's up with that? And do we look at something like that? And as high as everybody talks about him, is he the kind of guy you could, that the algorithm, I guess, is overlooking. As a day one, day two starter, maybe. You know what I mean?
Can I respond to his question first, El Capitan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So essentially, from my understanding, and you have to understand, let's put some context in this. This has become more of a passing league. As we become more and more a passing-based league, the secondary position becomes more and more important, such as corners, safeties, etc. Nickel,
Linebackers.
Even linebackers, but it's more on the corner side. And in this draft, there are a lot of very talented corners to be had in the first, second, and even the third round. Whereas the talent of linebackers, there's like there's not a lot of them, but they really truly believe there's going to be a run on corners in the second round. And that's pushing some of the not so like elite linebackers kind of like to the third or fourth rounds. That's why you see Overshown falling to the third and fourth, sometimes even the fifth, depending on what people.
Well, where would you project? I mean, where would people been projecting him as far as a starter goes?
I've been getting. I think he could be a starter with our team and in some, quite a few different teams. But
I mean, if we're to go by, if we're to make an appeal to authority and say, okay, well, Tyndall obviously didn't pan out like we thought, like as a day one, and obviously Good hasn't even sniffed the field, hardly, if at all. Obviously we haven't had luck on those two, on the two linebackers from the last draft. Do we take a stab at it again with a guy that falls like this, or what?
One thing I would tell you is you also got to look at who our defensive coordinator is. And me and El Capitan have talked about it privately and on this show multiple times. The prototypical linebacker that we're going to be trying to get is not your traditional linebacker. You're going to see like a safety corner hybrid type of linebacker.
That's what you want.
Mainly, again, what my concern is, bro, is mainly tackling.
I understand. And part of that, because of the different regions of the NFL, when I say regions, is the different styles of defense that the teams play, in comparative to what we're going to do, you're going to see a big difference in the type of, players they're going to go after, So that's why that.
But then there is still New England that's probably going to intend to pound the ball at everybody. I mean, we got to think of that aspect as well.
I think they're thinking these outside linebackers and this defensive line is going to fit the gaps to force running backs to the edges to allow these DBs to come up and make plays. And then if there is somebody that pops through the hole, you got one or two of these linebackers that are off ball that are going to come in and crash in the hole there.
Which, by the way, what you're talking about is precisely why we re-signed AVG, because he's just such a brilliant linebacker with that.
I am so happy. It's one of the most underrated signings we've got for sure.
The dude, when people talk about when they bring up the fact that we've beat Lamar the last couple times we played him, it was literally because of AVG.
I love the guy, bro. Andrew Van Ginkel. I'm so happy. I hope he is a complete, utter scheme fit. I hope Vic Fangio recognizes the talent that he has, and that we bring this man to a 3 or 4 year extension for a bargain, and he just stays a Dolphin for the length of his career.
Yep. He's patient. He's patient.
Give me a football team filled with Andrew Van Ginkels, and I will give you a championship.
He does tend to be chasing guys that break containment, though, and that's systemic throughout our entire mid-level defense these days. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why that's my biggest concern, is because, look, I don't care at this point if the guy, again, Cater, who's the guy? Get me another guy like him, call him a linebacker, put a 56 on his jersey, and let him make some damn tackles.
And let's be real, Andrew Van Ginkel finds loose footballs and takes them to the house. Thank you, Kevin Lee. This man is a playmaker. He's an impact player in a limited role. You can't ask for a better contributor in a limited role for a guy that has impact plays.
Yep, he can get pressure up the middle
I mean, dude, listen, I hope Fangio plays him as an off-ball linebacker and let him fit some gaps and see what he can do running around out there. I hope he gets his shot. So I think that's how they're going to handle the linebacking position. They're going to find out who can do what. Will the Dolphins draft a linebacker? I don't know. Maybe. I think we're all looking at more of the positions like tight end, running back.
Again, back to the appeal to authority. I think based on what Fangio's past results have been, not that he had anything to do with it because I haven't researched that far. I just know that he was the linebackers coach of the Ravens during Ray Lewis's tenure. And so even if it wasn't him that had anything to do with Ray Lewis, I can't imagine sitting there watching Ray Lewis play linebacker didn't have an influence on him.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't play linebacker and watch Ray Lewis and want to be that guy, or Zach Thomas or anything like that?
No, I mean Fangio. Like if Fangio wasn't the reason for Ray Lewis, then that doesn't mean that Fangio didn't benefit from sitting there watching what great linebacking play should look like.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
One thing that, and I don't mean to step on your toes, El Capitan, because I know what the next segment is probably going to be about, but Vic Fangio did have some comments to say about the big trade that happened today. And do you want me to do you want me to take it away, or do we want to talk about that segment first, then I take it away? What do you want to do?
Go ahead.
Good. Okay. So in light of the Aaron Rodgers trade, Vic Fangio made some comments that said, Aaron's going to need time to throw, and he's going to end up seeing open. He needs open receivers, which he won't have against us. He's not going to have time, and he's not going to see open receivers. Now we picked up Jalen Ramsey.
I don't know if Fangio really said that. I thought that was somebody capping.
No, I saw it on Bleacher Report. This was on Bleacher Report. I saw it.
Oh, touche.
Yeah. So if it is capping, then that Bleacher Report's taking other caps and posting it.
No shit.
Yeah. So essentially, if this is true, I mean, if now you have me wondering if it's really real or not, but let's say it's true, right? That means that could signify what we're really going to do with our draft pick. Maybe defensive line is really the target all along.
So I've been saying this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, bang for your buck if they pick at 51. If they pick at 51, it's probably going to be a defensive tackle. If they trade up, I see them getting a tight end or a running back and going and grabbing one of those guys. If they sit and wait for someone to fall to them, probably bang for their buck at the pick will be a whatchamacallit. It'll be a defensive tackle. And think about it like this. Think about what I said earlier. How much of an impact is a guy going to have picked in the second round, a rookie on a team like this, a tight team who has starters pretty much in every position and depth piece guys? How are you going to break through to get even playing time outside of special teams? Probably not. Not that saying it can't happen, but, Tyndall didn't get a lot of play time. None of the draft picks last year got a lot of playing time for the most part outside of injuries and things like that. Defensive tackle
again,
line,
you start making tackles on special teams. That's one way.
I agree. But schematics, we got to remember Fangio's defense is going to have a learning curve. Offensively, Mike McDaniel's offense has a learning curve. It's why these guys didn't get their shot because of the complexities of making the transition from college to pros and the schemes in which we're running around here now.
Yeah, you have there. Real pause for a second. That's actually a good side point to be made. Is that we're looking at Tyndall and Good through the eyes of and their development through the eyes of 1 year with Boyer, and
that's
and all
right.
That.
And remember, this team outside of Agba has nobody that's a defensive lineman under contract. Raekwon, Sealer, Christian Wilkins, all those guys. I don't know if they picked up, I think, Adam Butler and Jenkins. So they don't even have any depth pieces at the defensive tackle position, if memory serves me correct. If they do, it's somebody that is a no-name guy. To me, defensive tackle is the pick at 51 unless we trade up. And the reason for the pick at 51 at defensive tackle is for the reasons I just said. Guy ain't going to play this year outside of learning the scheme and playing on special teams. And if shit goes sideways and you don't sign Sealer or don't sign Wilkins or don't sign Raekwon, you're not left in a position where you're trying to fill one or two of these guys you don't get signed.
Right.
You're only trying to fill one through free agency. Defensive tackle is the target position for the Miami Dolphins that plays to the future. Now, if that
would support why we haven't done anything with Wilkins yet. I mean,
Again, too, remember, the Dolphins love to put political pressure on contract pressure on their own players. Look no further than drafting Noah Igbenogany during contract discussions for Xavier Howard. They could just draft the defensive tackle just to friggin' bring the number down on Christian Wilkins.
Well, I was going to say, what if we drafted? What if a really, really good DT falls to 51, right? And I mean, could this be dragged out through training camp where we're trying to evaluate what that first round pick or what that second round pick is like?
I don't know. I mean, listen, if the kid comes out and says he's a defensive tackle and he's just wrecking shit up, then you will know. But listen, I don't really see the way this team is in win now mode. Are they gonna take Fangio's new scheme and put a potential young growing pain mistakes on offense or on defense? I don't think they're interested.
Well,
in that.
Again, obviously you would have to. I mean, obviously it would have to be the kind of guy that's a diamond that nobody saw coming, and it would have to be that college draft.
We're not that team though, Color. How much?
No, I'm talking about the DT. I'm talking about the DT.
Second round.
No, I get it, but that's what I'm saying is that, does it hurt Miami at all to drag it out past training camp? Otherwise, there's no point because you're probably not going to find a DT in the draft that rises to the level right away. I mean, he doesn't have to rise to Christian Wilkins' level, but he has to be almost there. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, with very minimal rookie mistakes,
There is something to say about that zero tech guy. A true nose tackle playing center, and Fangio uses these guys to line up on the left or right side of the center while stacking two guys on the other side of the line out wide, and then one outside linebacker on the other side, and then allowing the linebackers to play the gaps. And so you essentially have like a strong left where you have the linebacker filling up the weak side on the right off ball, but you have a big, gigantic man in the middle there he's actually going to play right. He might be lined up on the left shoulder, but he's going to crash and push the center to the right. You know what I'm saying? And because that's the way the play is going to go. If you're strong left, then you're going to go to the right, typically, or you try to show that formation late in the play to then cause an audible, creating confusion. This is a lot of the stuff we're going to see. Fangio, schematically, guys, what we're going to see different from what we've seen from the Flores to Boyer thing. They dictated what the offense was going to call or do with the DBs. Fangio is going to do a lot of that with the front four, and it's going to be a lot of maneuvering up on that while moving all three levels of the defense. That's why Fangio is great at his job. He's going to dictate this while filling it in with that, while then having his shit set up in the back end. It's why he's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys in this draft that is the dude that can be the center piece type of dude right at the line like that. Jalen Carter from Georgia is not going to be there. He's going to be drafted in the first round. The
Right.
only dude that I'm looking at that is a friggin' behemoth, and he's definitely not a second rounder, is hold on, where was he? The kid from Texas, Kendron Coburn or whatever the heck his name is. He's 6'1", 336 pounds.
Wow.
The guy's
They'll have to shave
friggin'
that.
monster.
They don't like guys being that heavy in the NFL.
Well, I mean, yes
That's
and
like
no.
Tim Bowen. That's like Tim Bowen's style right there, man.
Again, that's kind of what Fangio likes in this scheme. He's a guy we can get later in the draft. To me, I like.
Remember how long it took to get Tim Bowens on the field, bro, because of his weight, man? That just wouldn't let him play, man.
I don't know if this is a second round pick. I don't know where the Dolphins have him. To me, I think you can get him in the third round. But the kid out of Florida, Dexter, he's 6'6", 310 pounds. He's a monster, and he has a lot of talent, bro. He has a lot of untapped talent. I would be interested if they picked him up in like the third round or traded back.
That's Shake Money's favorite, I'm sure.
He's a monster, bro. He's a monster. He's 6'6". He's freaking huge.
By the way, I just wanted to say,
and he has experience playing in the heat in Florida. So just
true in the swamp.
Yeah, it's hot as shit.
By the way, that is a really fly ass freaking shirt you got on, bro. And
you like this? It's been a while.
Did you get that? Did you get that from Fanatics?
Yeah, sure, I did.
Yeah, so if y'all want really fly ass freaking shirts like that, make sure you're hitting the link in the description.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
And their new threads are like even flyer looking than Capitan's shirt tonight.
Oh yeah, you want to be like showing up to the tailgate looking like you're working for the squad. You need to go check out the Fanatics. You gonna finish it out, Color? Or you just hit the Fanatics?
I was just trying to compliment your shirt and parlay it.
Well, if you want to fill this shirt out as good as I do, you need to get in the gym. And if you're going to get into the gym, you're going to need energy to do it. You're going to need W Energy Drink to do it, just like me. And you'll see W Energy Drink is helping El Capitan put the gains on and going to get big and swole over these next couple of months. And you can count that W was there helping me all the way.
Get the dub with W.
Ali, your mic is muted, so you're not.
And if you really, okay, thank you, sir. If you really want to be cool and you really, really want to fill out the shirt and make sure you have the whole thing all flyed up, check out Backroom Collection where you get all your fly artwork to show off to all your friends. And you can use code TFTG at checkout to save 10% off.
And don't mess up by not finishing out your outfit with one of our fire TFTG hats. Make sure you guys are checking them out. Get yourself a flag. Get yourself It's My DNA, Miami Dolphins style. And all your active wear, as you can see, for when you're going to the gym with your doobie and your active wear and your doobie and your active wear and your doobie. Thank you.
Yeah, and no matter how much CB83 comes around, we still got plenty of flip-flops in stock.
Yeah.
He's bought quite a few of them, but we still got plenty.
Is that my guy Squid Games Colin down there? What is up, buddy?
Yeah, I saw him around somebody else's channel earlier. I can't remember where, but yeah, he's been coming around lately.
What's going on, Colin? Long time no see. I see V21 in the chat as well, along with some other people coming around. Go our boy Most. If you guys are interested in some good old soccer talk, which they, football, as they say, make sure to check out our guy over here across the pond, Sports Talk.
Or as CBS Sports calls it, Golazo!
It's a Classico goal! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, boy. You're welcome.
Is that from a dialect, from some language? I mean, or is that complete cultural appropriation by CBS Sports, that whole Golazo thing?
I think it's just something that just happened in sports. Like it evolved. It's evolved from many different
So
like
it's like,
fandoms
what is
and-
it? Is CBA? Are they trying to make it like the ultimate universal word for soccer?
Well, generally they reference Clasico when it's like a big time rival game and it's really big. Like the
CB83
big
flip
one,
flops. Is that what we're talking about? Oh no, we're talking about soccer. My fault.
he's talking about soccer, but the
Yeah, we're talking about.
CB83 flip flops are definitely good.
He needs a pair.
Yeah. We can talk about this later on Broken Takes Color. I have a whole segment about it to explain to you.
Right on.
Gazoo.
Oh
boy.
man, that's funny.
Shout out to Ron, my guy Ron in there. What's up, buddy? Salute. Listen, I am all about Darnell Washington. Will he be in striking distance? I don't know. Again, I really truly believe that a defensive tackle falling in our lap is more likely than someone on offense, whether it's a tight end or a running back being in striking distance to move up. But I would love if that's the case.
I would say yes, you're right, Dolphins 72, if we didn't have Zach Seiler. But the fact that you have Zach Seiler in there, right? And there are other needs that is really affecting our win now mode. I don't see this. If we trade Wilkins, I don't see it as a rebuild move at all. Just saying. That's my opinion.
I don't see it as a rebuild move, but they better have an answer already to replace the amount of snaps Wilkins takes year in and year out. He's always been healthy. He's never a liability. He's not necessarily a big time playmaker, but he has his duties, and listen, the guy does a serviceable job. Does he warrant 16 mil a year guaranteed? No. Is he worth 10? I would pay him 10 million a year. If they want to extend, if they wanted to extend Wilkins for say like 50 million guaranteed over, a 40-year extension, essentially giving him 10 mil a year for the next 5 years with incentives, that would be a contract that would sit all right with me. But that is not what he wants. And from sources I've talked to, that is kind of the deal they were looking to get. They were like, hey, what about 60? No, he feels that he's worth the bag. And you know what? He is on the open market, not with us.
Is he really though? I mean, is he really
free agent D tackles get friggin' $100 million contracts?
I'm talking about for our team though. Is he worth
not
it
for our team? No, not for our team, but for a team like Carolina or Detroit or
they're going to pay the money. I get you.
A team that's got money that needs someone on a young defensive line. Yeah, I could see them making
because
like
the whole mic'd up thing with Zach Seiler, I believe it was the Ravens game. The Ravens game changed my whole outlook on what Zach Seiler really is, bro. He doesn't just play to a high level in the games. He plays to a high level even on the sideline. And
Zach Seiler is great.
In the background, in the locker room.
Look at the stuff what he does with the team building with his hunting and stuff like that. That's key stuff. Bringing the young guys out, showing them some new stuff. I mean, he's an adult.
Yeah, I was impressed, bro. Like the guy, after every good offensive drive or whatever they did good offensively, he was running onto the field to congratulate them and. He was like not sitting on a seat and be like, yeah, good job. And as they came by, shake hands. No, he was running out to them and whatnot.
I will say
saying hell of a job. And
not to take something away from Zach Seiler, but everyone on this team is very supportive of everyone on this team. It's a reason why they ran it back. It really is. This team is a tight-knit team.
That's true.
It certainly is. And it's something. It's impressive. It's one of the things that has impressed me a lot about Mike McDaniel, how he has got this team believing in itself, and fighting for each other. And really, that's what teams that win a lot of football games and Super Bowls do. They, it's the only analogy I can come to mind is like, a military type of thing. You're not out there fighting the war. You're out there fighting to protect your brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear it.
Something to think. Real quick, because I want to talk about the Aaron Rodgers stuff, and then we'll get back more into the draft. Little bit of the details, guys. We'll open this book. We'll shit talk the Jets. Then we'll close the book. Make sure everyone is getting the likes up. Hit the like button, everyone. So here's the details on the trade, okay? The Packers are trading Aaron Rodgers and their first-round pick, which is the number 15th pick, as well as their fifth-round pick, which is the number 170th pick, to the Jets. So they're giving up Rodgers, the 15th overall pick, and a fifth-round pick, okay, to the Jets. What they will receive is the 13th pick of the draft, so the Jets' first-rounder this year. They will also receive the Jets' second-rounder this year and the Jets' sixth-rounder this year. But they will have a conditional second next year. That's if Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps, which I would be super surprised if he played less than if he plays less than 65% of the snaps, they're fucked anyhow. Okay. If he plays 75, 80%, they're kind of fucked anyhow because they're going to lose a first for a quarterback that is on the backslide. Mm-hmm. It is Aaron Rodgers. He's still a great quarterback, but essentially, I mean, if you look at payola and trade around, it's a first round. And I mean, really, it's almost two first rounders if you want to add everything up and subtract everything. You know what I'm saying? Moving back in the first round, moving, giving up a second. I would say, yeah, it's kind of like if that second round pick becomes a first round pick, it'll be pretty much like a first rounder and a second rounder.
Man, I mean, aside from the money, how do you critique that pick, that trade, bro?
It is. Listen,
damn.
Again, other than him going to the Jets, I think it's a solid trade. I think it's a win-win for both teams where they sit. The Jets perceive themselves to be in a win now window. I find it very bold of them, considering they didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And the Packers needing to ride it out and see what they have in Jordan Love. If that shits the bed, they'll go get another quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And they'll have the ammo to move up, or maybe their season tanks and they've got a first rounder inside the top 5. I can see the Packers really falling off a ledge this year, honestly, and having a top 10 draft pick with now a conditional first wherever it is, and can couple that to move up inside the top 10 or further up inside the top 10 to get somebody they want. It's a win-win for both programs. I think it's a solid trade. The Jets do acquire the massive contract obligations by picking up Rodgers, but again, they perceive themselves as contenders with Rodgers, and I'm ready to humble them and show how stupid they really are. So what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, technically Aaron Rodgers has not had the best QB rating against the AFC East teams.
No,
let's look at it. We'd say that the Bills were the big bad wolves of the NFL the past 3 years, at least for the AFC East, I should say. He's had below average QB rating. We're not talking QBR, just QB rating versus the last 4 games that he's played against the Bills, right? In fact, I have the numbers here. In the last 4 games against the Bills, he's only thrown 5 touchdowns and had 4 interceptions, right? He's only thrown 941 yards. His completion rate is 54%. I'm sorry, 54.6. And His rating was average rating is 75.4, which is below average in the NFL in the past year. That's the one of the lowest numbers, to be honest. Now against Miami, on the other hand, he's had more average numbers. He's top 17 in QB rating, which is
But
92.9.
remember, Ali, remember, the Dolphins haven't faced Rodgers with a good football team all too often.
No,
You know
it's
what I'm
up
saying?
until this past year. Yeah.
No, but I think
more
that
recent
I
memory.
bet you if you compared Brady's numbers against Miami to Rodgers' numbers against Miami, I bet you they're similar in average. And I was gonna say,
No,
Ali, that
but hold on. Let me please land first.
yeah,
before you
go
start
ahead.
to-
And
Yeah, yeah, go ahead,
I was
Ali,
just gonna,
land
yeah,
away.
I wanted you to land. I wanted you to
Yeah.
let you know that I'm gonna hit that
Mhm.
point about I have a good reason as to why this is all
I can
the way
definitely
it
bring
is.
up those numbers because I have those actually. I'm looking at them. But I will say when you look at it, so his highest QB rating that he had against Miami came in 2018, right? That was the year we tore everything apart, right? So that makes complete sense. But if you look at even this past year for 2022, against
he
us,
needed a concussion and a collapse on offense
yeah, he
to
only
pull
threw
out a
one
win.
touchdown. He only threw one touchdown.
Right.
This is a passing league. It's not,
And remember, our secondary was decimated last year, bro. Decimated.
I think it's the legend and the name of Aaron Rodgers that scares people. I honestly think that, and I honestly think that because of what he's done in the past, the New York Jet fans are all drunk on that, and they think that it's the answer. And I don't think it's
Ali,
the answer.
remember too.
Go ahead.
Remember, he's sat king upon the mountain in the division he's been, with the Vikings being essentially the Bills of their division. Good football team, but having absolute plunders, just complete collapses in the playoffs and shit like that. The Lions, who essentially have sucked forever, and who's the other team in that division? Can't even fucking remember off the top of my head.
Minnesota.
No, I already said Minnesota.
Chicago.
Lions, Chicago. God, they're even worse.
Yeah.
Chicago's, as of recent, in the last 10 years, has made the Lions almost look like a compatible organization the way they've shit the bed.
Yeah.
So they've owned these three teams that have struggled. And he's going to come into the AFC East, which even in its worst years is still just a deadly friggin'
he's coming from the NFC. That's a weak conference altogether.
It's a weak conference and a weak division.
I wanted to say that leads into what I wanted to say to Ali's take is that, I think, if he's had minimal to average success against AFC East teams, that might be explained by the fact that we've always been built, all of our teams in the AFC East have been built to defeat Tom Brady and now have continued over to be built to defeat Josh Allen. Now, the Bills, on the other hand, are building themselves to defeat other great quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah, what we're seeing is Aaron Rodgers is just as average against other elite quarterbacks as every other elite quarterback is average against him. You know what I mean?
And
as far as comparisons go.
Alexander Rene Diaz, those were the exact numbers I was trying to go over. But my point of bringing those up is if you look at the passer rating, he's just average. There's no above average. Like, oh my God, this is like elite. Brock Purdy had a better passer rating than Aaron Rodgers last season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers literally ran into the AFC East and the AFC to get away from the Niners. Let's be real.
I mean, it's just that's how I see it. Everyone is worried about, oh my God, it's Aaron Rodgers. I honestly, I can see this blowing up in the Jets' face, or as some people like to call it, the planes, because I guess that's
and I would just say that, to me, it just seems to be a matter of will to play. If that isn't recaptured, then everything you're saying is true, Ali. He is not, he's not that guy.
Do you know what I see when I see Aaron Rodgers ending up as a Jet? First of all, he will not have the number 12. He'll be number 8. So he already won't be the same guy.
Who's number 12 on their team?
Their number 12 is retired. The jersey 12 is retired. It's nameless.
Nobody
jersey.
can have it. Okay.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So this is what I see. This is what it looks like to me. Stretching his wiener out right down here. We're going to turn around and all that, all that Jets media, you're going to turn around and all of his facial hair and top hair are going to be bleach white, just like Favre over here. And although I loved watching Favre play just as much as I liked watching Rodgers play in Green Bay, we all remember how much of a shit show Favre was. And you know what? They won some games. There was some moments. Jets fans had a little tickle in their pickle, but it amounted to jack shit.
Well, I just feel like we got to still do the job, because the fact of it is, what typically happens with guys like this is everybody else in his division likes to sit there and act like they're all of a sudden emasculated and are fanboys of one of the greatest quarterbacks and want to sit there and watch him shred their own team.
So
you know what I mean?
So here's what I foresee.
Well, real quick, we already have, somebody on our team that's anxious to watch him play himself. So
yeah, and we're gonna talk about that, Color. Way to tee that up. Good job by you, buddy. Here's what I foresee out of the Jets, and I've mentioned this before. This big trade, coupled with the big financial obligation by bringing Aaron Rodgers, 2-time MVP, they're going to juice him up. They're going to roll out a specially made red carpet for him. The New York media is going to eat it up. They're going to love his quirky, weird interviews, and just they're going to blow this man up in a way that they're going to put him so high on a pedestal that if failure ends up happening, if they end up missing the playoffs, Salah's going to lose his job. And that's a bad move. So what are they going to do in the middle of this 2, maybe 3 year maximum Aaron Rodgers ordeal? They're going to pivot directions of the team. Then there's people disgruntled on the football team. Aaron Rodgers is running this team. Is he the GM? He's making picks. He's done this wherever. He's already did that to. Why do you think he's leaving Green Bay? They're sick of his shit. They're sick of him saying, I want my friends to get contracts. They've already bent over backwards for this man. And if he comes there and there's failure on the horizon, do you think he's going to take the blunt of that failure? No, he's going to go, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm the MVP. Y'all been juicing me up. It's this, and this. And the finger of blame will start to be pointed around, and they'll start to eat their own and devour themselves. And in 4 years, when we look back at the Jets, who are on in complete rebuild mode and in tanking for the number 1 overall pick with a new GM and a new rookie head coach and a shit show of a friggin' of dead cap, we will watch them continue along the same cycle we have seen the Jets do for 15 fucking years now. Booyah, bitches. Get the fuck up out here.
That's right. I mean, the Jets do have one good thing to look forward to. When Aaron Rodgers shows up to their training facility or their offices, or after, when they go to make a spectacle out of it, Joe Namath is going to be the guy coming out of the car with him. That's how they're going to, that's what's going to happen. They're going to market it that way. And that's going to be proof. And they're going to throw it in your faces that it's been 60, how many years? 70 years since they won the Super Bowl.
So,
it's been forever, right?
If Aaron Rodgers comes out with a mink coat on, and a pimp hat, it'll be just
and some big old, Ray-Bans, or not Ray-Bans, but like pilot glass,
and a cane and shit. It is going. I mean, listen, it's going to be entertaining, and I'm going to enjoy watching it. But it's only because in the back of my mind, I know the impending doom that Jets fans are going to feel when it's all said and done. But Color made a great point earlier. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see what Color's talking about. There is somebody who is excited to see Aaron Rodgers become a New York Jet, and it is somebody associated with the Dolphins. Now, does anyone in chat know what I'm talking about right now? Real quick, before I share the screen, does anybody know in chat who is excited to see Aaron Rodgers become a Jet? Don't all fucking type in at once, chat. Jeez, I guess nobody knows what we're talking about.
I know.
Nope. Stop glazing Tua. Glazing?
Glazing. Is that what we're doing now?
Oh. Do tell. Look, see. How about luck? Ramsey, Alexander, is Ramsey excited? Jalen Ramsey, John Levitt, TD, Mean Mantis, that he's son of Colin Cowherd, Jose. No, they're associated with the Dolphins. CCRR, Nick Hicks.
Wow, CCRR has been paying the frick attention, man. Damn.
Well, if you were a subscriber and paid attention, you would have seen that I posted this on the channel earlier. Let me go ahead and pull it up, everybody. If I can get it. Here we go. So here it is right here on Twitter. Nick Hicks talked with Tua about this over a month ago. He was hoping that the Jets got Aaron because he really wanted the opportunity to play him twice a year. I'm honestly really excited to watch because lately Jets games were so damn boring. LOL. Again, kudos to the Plains. I think the Plains color isn't Rodgers. He's talking about the Plains being the Jets nickname.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know. Okay. Like a cute little pet name, like Go Plains.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Having you read it aloud maybe made a difference. I don't know. I just caught another angle I hadn't thought of earlier. This is throwing shade at Skyler.
How is it throwing shade at Skyler?
Because Skyler's the only one that played the Jets last year.
Damn, Color. I didn't think about that.
Ooh, Color.
Oh, man.
This is a Jacksonville Jaguars fan throwing shade at our freaking quarterback, man. Our quarterback against the Jets. Because when he, I mean, for real.
I hear you.
I don't know. I'm interested to see the Tua versus Aaron Rodgers.
I have no interest. We saw it against Green Bay. I have absolutely no interest. I don't think it's going to be any more or less boring than it was. Our offense can't move the ball with either a 7th-round rookie or a 5th-round overall pick, 3rd-year veteran. So,
chat, what do you guys think? Is this? I mean, first of all, Nick Hicks would know. He spends a lot of time with Tua. It's his trainer. For all of you that don't know. And I'm guessing Tua said this, that he would be like, yeah, I'm down to play against Aaron Rodgers twice a year. And that, he's excited because let's be real, Jets games have been boring. And they have, but I'm not looking for the Jets to be not boring and be a better football team. But I'm also not opposed to watching a great matchup between Tua and Aaron Rodgers, as long as that great matchup means Tua is out dueling Aaron Rodgers and winning football games. But to Color's astute point, we didn't get to see that from the Jets. We got to see it from Rodgers versus Tua on Christmas, but we all remember how the coal was left in our stocking that day.
So, we think our results are going to be better with against Aaron Rodgers on a team with more weapons than the freaking Packers and more will to win.
I don't know.
let's not forget the Jets defense shut down a lot of teams last year. A lot of quality teams.
CCRR says, I'm still confident Tua won't take a single snap in Miami. You have more confidence than most, buddy, because I'm telling you right now, Tua is on the trajectory to not only take a snap and not only play this year, but next year. And depending on where it is, the Dolphins organization will mortgage the future on Tua. Just a fact. And Alexander, is that an oh my God, like I'm blowing it up out of proportion? I didn't fucking say this, and I didn't make that. I've just presented it to you. What do you mean, oh my God? Is that an oh my God, I can't believe he said that, Alex? Or is that an oh my God,
not hiding it
out of proportion?
Not hiding it and sweeping it under the rug is blowing it out of proportion.
Exactly. Am I supposed to not give you that information?
No, yeah, because if we don't, then they can continue to say that we're a bunch of low rent, amateurs, you know what I mean?
Listen, I'm just here. I'm sorry, I retweeted it. Nick Hicks liked it. I like Nick Hicks. I've talked to the guy. He's been very cordial with me.
Exactly. I'm sure Nick Hicks don't get
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he meant it in any sort of slight of way. I'm just fucking saying what it is and how it finna be. Oh, what's up, DTA? Salute, my brother. Love you too, brother.
I'm not sure Nick Hicks. I'm not necessarily saying Nick Hicks meant to throw shade at Skyler. I'm just saying maybe he hadn't thought of that's what it would actually be doing.
I don't think he thought in those aspects.
So
of course not,
Tyler.
Of course not.
Thought, listen, here's Tua, his friend, his client, said to him, he's excited if Rodgers goes. They probably were like, hey man, what do you think about this Rodgers situation? He's like, honestly, I would like to play against Rodgers twice a year. I like the competitiveness out of Tua to say something like that. But also on the flip side, I didn't like the last time the meeting went together. Now, it wasn't Rodgers that was beating us. It was Tua that got concussed or shortcomings, whatever you want to say. But also, to your point, something I never even thought of was the victories and losses and shit like that with the Jets this last year without Tua.
And if you go back to Green Bay, it could be argued, hey, a lot of good quarterbacks struggle in the heat of Miami.
Also, just so everybody knows, Tua and Aaron Rodgers share the same agency. So
those are some facts. So that's true.
Just so you know. So just something to be aware of, Dolphin fans.
And Jets fans.
So if Aaron
Aaron's already made his way, if he's got
Rodgers lays down,
he's got a favor to do for the agency. You know what I mean?
That's right. Jets season, they're late playing the Dolphins in the last 2 games. They've got no shot of making the playoffs. The Dolphins need this win to get in. Does Aaron Rodgers lay down for his boy Tua at the agency?
I mean, if the agency makes more money, doesn't it benefit all the
Aaron Rodgers got the bread, dog.
Clients?
Maybe Aaron Rodgers got the bread. Tua Tagovailoa need the bread. And when you're talking agency, talking business, and talking money, you talking some dirty dealings.
Right. And when the salary cap goes up,
conspiracy, you're
right. And when the salary cap goes up and there's more bread for everybody, that agency and all of its clients now have a better shot because that agency says, look, I got a contract for Tua, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boy. And who knows? A little bit of kickback for the Rodgers, man. A little bit of stockola. The stock of the agency went up 10 points. Look at that.
Exactly. All of a sudden, 20 years from now, Aaron Rodgers is the main partner in this agency. You know what I mean?
No. All of their agents have partnership depending on contract and everything like that. I don't know. I don't know the details of their contracts. Listen, it's just like the super rich turning around and not paying
Maybe
shit
we
in
just
taxes.
found a loophole, a way for them to game the system that nobody had ever thought of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
maybe
and
that's
make sure
why.
you guys are
Maybe
throwing
that's why there's
kickbacks
such
to
an interest.
TFTG
No, but
network.
maybe that's why there's such an interest in protecting the agent gatekeeping thing, like with Lamar Jackson and all the non-agent players. You know what I mean?
I think it's more along the
Because
lines
that means
they wanna
Lamar
keep-
Jackson ain't got nobody to play for but himself.
Yep,
and the team.
You're on to something there. I said it a while back. Listen to me. Yeah, it's this, that, and the other, but it's also because he's not playing in the system that has the kickbacks to the people they want to have kickbacks to.
Well, think of it like this, and you can include ourselves as our goal. You know what I mean? Our overall philosophy here at the Fins Tailgate as well. But you can look at Lamar as like the TD Finstock of quarterbacks. He's owned by nobody.
All right.
Like, he can play how he wants to play. He can play for himself. He can play for the team. He ain't got to play for all these narrative agendas of the NFL and agencies that might want to make more money for everybody. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong in saying that there's certainly plenty in this community that want to be the whipping boy of the organization in which they're representing. I have no interest in being that guy. Could you buy me out and my guys out in the network? Sure can. Holler at your boy. Just got to talk digits. That's all.
Well, that's why I kind of made the analogy to TD and not exclusively us.
Sorry,
you know what I
but
mean?
TD ain't a dummy either, dog. He's a brand.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying currently. You know what I mean? Lamar ain't a dummy either. You know?
Wow.
If it was like, hey, go with this agent because he can get you $400 million, I'm sure Lamar will be signing with an agent.
All right, let's move to the draft, guys. Let me make sure everyone's hitting the like button. I'm gonna make a poll question. What do you think? Let's do it.
Oh, I love it. You know, I like polls.
Sounds good, man. Let's do it.
Oh, by the way, I want credit earlier. We went a good 45 minutes talking about something besides Tua, and I'm tired of not getting credit for that.
I can't find the good for you meme. Sorry, man. I was going to give you credit.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, that one.
Oh, good for you.
It's not on El Capitan's show, unfortunately.
Yeah, I might have erased it. All right. So I've given 2 defensive positions and 2 offensive positions that I asked. Which position do you want Miami to draft? Defensive tackle, tight end, running back, or linebacker? Poll is up in the chat. Go ahead, everyone. Let me know what you think. And hit the poll. We'll give it, 5 minutes or so. Hold it down real quick, boys.
Right on. I wanted offensive line so the fan base would shut the hell up. But I wanted a linebacker because of our tackling issues and the need for it. But man, I think Capitan might have convinced me on DT, man. What do you think, Ollie?
Yeah, defensive tackle is definitely a position that could be the target all along. I mean, I don't know if what I saw earlier is really true or not. It could have been just some meme take or whatever. It doesn't matter. But there is plausibility to believe that, specifically with, if you know Vic Fangio's scheme on defense, he doesn't. He has been claimed to said that he doesn't blitz unless he absolutely has to. You know what I mean? His team automatically gets pressure, organic pressure from the line. And with that being said, I kind of could see them bringing more pieces in to actually make that happen. Do we have those pieces?
Well, that does mean a lot of stunts and a lot of physical activity at the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that. I just think that they need to find a way to create organic pressure. Now, we are getting a healthier Ogba back, so I guess that's something to look forward to.
And Ogba is under contract, but there is the future to think of, especially in a draft where I don't think whoever we pick in the second round is going to impact this football team this year.
Ain't no future here. Just mashed potatoes and corn.
Now, we also don't have Melvin Ingram anymore.
That's true, but Melvin Ingram is still a free agent, and so we could totally pick him up still.
Yeah, which I would be okay with that. I thought he did
totally
very
be okay
good.
with that.
Yeah, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, I would love to bring back Melvin Ingram on the veteran minimum.
Definitely. I would do that in a heartbeat, actually. I don't know. It's interesting to see what they're going to do. I want to see how long it's going to take for Vic Fangio to instill his philosophy on this team and what moves they're going to do to make that happen in a more, urgent fashion, especially in the sense that we technically only have we have 2 years left of this 3-year window that we had. So
right now, only 30
Ain't no
votes.
window around here either.
Right now, only 30 votes, leading the poll 37% tight end, but in a close second at 33% linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Dolphins haven't been very lucky in the tight end drafts. We've been lucky, finding guys, the Anthony Fasano's of the world, plug and play guys to fill in, but we haven't had a dynamic tight end on this football team. I mean, I guess Gesicki is dynamic, but he never fully lived up to the role of a tight end, being able to block and everything like that. And if he was so fucking dynamic, why wasn't he really well sought after? You know what I'm saying? Now, where's he playing? And who's he playing with? Somebody we were saying that would be a great fit for him. Does everybody remember? I thought he was going to play with Aaron Rodgers, but no, he ends up going to another division foe. Didn't he sign with the Patriots?
Correct.
Yeah. Can't wait to watch that fucking he's going to fizzle out. He's going to fizzle out. We'll give it a total of 2.5 minutes left before we find out which position we're going to go with.
Do you think if Miami gets Lamar somehow, that still leaves Brady hanging out in the wind? Do you think he goes back and tries to reunite some last-minute retirement magic with the Patriots and throwing the ball to Gesicki?
I don't think he would ever go back to the Patriots out of principle alone. I feel like that bridge is burned. The only teams that I could see him end up going to, if their perceptive starter goes down, is like the Niners, the Dolphins, and insert another team that makes a late, nobody saw them coming surge to the top of their division. Like, I don't know, say like the Seahawks are just straight killing it, and then Geno Smith goes down. I could see him jumping in on something like that. Or, yeah, Ron makes a great point. Denver. I could see if Russell Wilson goes down and has to get surgery, he could jump in on that Denver train, especially being in Denver. Any team that is a contender that loses a top quarterback, I could see Brady just easing his way right in that.
I could see Denver, but I'm going to tell you right now, being the fact that technically Brady's from San Francisco, he's not going to play for Seattle. That ain't happening. It's going to be, like you said, either Miami or some other team like Denver is a good one. I could see him going to.
Couldn't see him playing for San Francisco?
No, I can't see him playing for Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I can't see it.
I could see him. Listen, he's always wanted to play for San Francisco.
San Francisco, I could see it. If they call, I could see him.
It's got to be a super team type with a West Coast offense. That's just all there is to it.
It's not just that. It's also the fact that where he's from, I think that plays into effect of where he would play too, because he's from that Bay Area. And the fact is that I from my understanding, 49er fans and Seattle fans don't really get along.
Yeah, but listen, the Niners have consistently said, we don't need you, Brady. Brady is petty enough to jump on a Niners team that's, say, in a wild card position, to jump onto the Seattle team just to fucking put them in the dirt and take their spot in the division and own them. That is Brady's deal, proving people wrong. It's a vice and a virtue at this point. Dan the man says, don't put that evil out there. Shame, shame. Listen, I don't want him here in Miami, but the 2-year window of win now and having to be held accountable, especially for a guy like Chris Greer, it is not off the table.
You know, somehow the Tampa Bay buffer almost does it for me. Like, I think I'm beyond that now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the guy's a whole different person. And if you're telling me that he would never go back to New England to retire there for personal reasons, hey man, put on some aqua and orange, and I don't, you know what I mean? Take the name off of it. Here's a guy on the street that wants to be a Dolphin. You know what I mean?
Not just a guy color.
That's the buffer that Tampa Bay provided, because he's every bit as much now a Buccaneer as he was a Patriot. So who cares?
These are the facts. We talked about this in length on Broken Takes the last episode, right? We talked about this very scenario. Tom Brady, when he got asked the question if he's going to play for Miami, he didn't say no. He said he had friends and wishes them the best of luck and have success, but he didn't say no. And the reality is, if Miami Dolphins are smart and actually had that adult talk that we talked about, that what's his name, Colin on the Herd put out there, that adult conversation that they had to have, color, the reality is Miami will use Tom Brady as the safety net. They'll hold them as the safety net as long as they can.
The video that Ali is referencing to, for anyone who hasn't seen it, again, if you had your notification bell on, being a subscriber to the channel, watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, come over to YouTube, you would have got the notification about the short I posted about it. So I'll show it here for you guys now, but here it is right here.
Time in Miami, now you call it home. By chance, is there any chance that you're coming out of retirement and playing for the Fins? Oh, man. I know. I'm just saying, you gotta. Well, I will say, now that I'm not affiliated with any team anymore, and even though I have strong ties with a couple teams, I do have some friends on the Dolphins that I really like. So
now that I'm not affiliated with any team anymore, and although I have strong connections with other teams, I do have some friends on the Dolphins.
And listen to the tone, and listen to the down tone at the end of the statement that is almost in the affirmative of, like, not yes, I'm gonna play for them, but yes, they would be the team if I come out at retirement. You know what I mean?
It really sounds like that. Here, let me continue.
I wouldn't say I necessarily root for them all the time, but I root for my friends to do well, and several of them play for Miami. So. Awesome. Yeah.
Again, I mean, and it was so, yeah. You know what I mean? That's an affirmative. You know what I mean?
It is. Again, we'll watch it one more time to dispel any narratives to the contrary.
By chance, is there any chance that you're coming out of retirement and playing for the Fins? Oh, man. I know. I'm just saying, you gotta. Well, I will say, now that I'm not affiliated with any team anymore, and even though I have strong ties with a couple teams, I do have some friends on the Dolphins that I really like. So I wouldn't say I necessarily root for them all the time, but I root for my friends to do well, and several of them play for Miami. So awesome. Yeah.
Who are these?
And let me be clear real quick before you run with it. Let me be clear real quick. When I say that tone is in the affirmative, what I mean is he's affirming that their theory isn't tinfoil hattish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, if the guy is really that retired, right, and he doesn't want to, even if he doesn't want to play for the Dolphins at all, wouldn't he just say, "Thank you, I really appreciate the opportunity, but I think I'm really good where I'm at now"? He would say something like that, right?
Yeah,
No,
he also prefaced it by saying, "Now that I'm not affiliated with any other team, parentheses, and I can't ruin their draft pick prospects." Close parentheses.
I will be candid
I can
with
talk
you
about it.
and say, yeah, I would be interested if they called me, is essentially what he said. But I don't think he's interested in doing the whole rigmarole. Again, Tua does, well, I won't say the unthinkable because it's happened, but Tua goes down and is lost for the season or, has anything like that. You can bet your ass if Brady's out there, they're calling him first. That's it. You don't have to like it. I certainly don't.
And
I certainly don't. You know why I don't like it? I don't like being in the position. I don't like it being already right here.
Yeah.
That I got to even have this scenario around. I don't like it. It pisses me off.
I understand.
I wish I had to. I hate that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you think about it, it's kind of smart that they did this or have him as a safety net, because now you don't have to put the pressure of putting the whole entire season on Tom Brady. And
I agree.
in addition to that, God forbid, and I have a wooden desk, so I'm knocking on wood right now, but God forbid something happens to Tua and everything, but we're still in that playoff, like we're in the hunt. We're definitely in the hunt. You got Tom Brady right there for the pickings that you could fill in. And yeah, it might take a game or two, but he could definitely lead us with the weapons that we have. You could argue that our weapons are, somewhat as good or better than what he's had in the past.
Because of Tom Brady's advanced age, do I feel confident that his arm strength and longevity at his age could pass through the entirety of an 18-week season and the entirety of the playoffs into a Super Bowl? I wouldn't bet on it. Would I bet against it? No, but I wouldn't bet on it. Now, week 8, 10, 12, latter part of the season, the unthinkable happens, and he has to come in there. He gives us the best chance at that point than any other quarterback we can bring on to the football team.
Right. And
or anyone that's already currently on the roster.
That was my argument right there.
And look to Ollie's point also, you realistically, you'd say, okay, if he's not with us from camp, okay, then realistically, if Tua goes down and let's say we've got 2 losses, you could realistically expect, goat or not, because of gelling and all that we lose 2 games to get him up to speed, right? However, we're also talking about, yes, that's realistically what you want to plan for. In other words, that's planning for the worst, but hoping for the best. And the best would be, look at our team, and it's been good enough to carry Tua to some wins. Why wouldn't it be able to carry a Tom Brady getting up to speed to some wins?
And to answer El Capitan's question about who these friends are, because he put out, who are these friends that he talked about?
That's a question. Who are these friends?
Let's actually answer that.
These friends?
Think about who our wide receivers coach is. Wes Welker, bro. He was golden under Brady. He knows all of Brady's likes and dislikes of the receiver position, where they need to be.
Okay.
And he can translate that to our receivers. I don't think that gelling period is going to be that much of an issue.
So if in fact, and I think the number is at about 25 years, if I remember correctly, and I looked at it last year, so it would be 26 now. The head scout of the New England Patriots has been Chris Greer's father. That would mean that Chris Greer's father, would he have not been the one that scouted Tom Brady?
So is it not Chris Greer who is a friend along with Wes Welker? Is that what I'm hearing?
Let's be real here. Chris Greer is a Patriot.
Is it not the owner of this football team that is a big time friend for the marauder of the?
Chris Greer is actually family of the dynasty. You know what I mean? So regardless of whether he works for the Miami Dolphins or not.
All right, so I think we bought enough time with the Brady nonsense to get to the poll question, but all I know is that H in chat is going hard as fuck in the paint, trying to do Lamar missed the last 5 games of the season.
Thank God he did. Good business decision.
Figure it out. Listen, is that Green Rat? Anyhow, no,
it
Green
could
Rat's
be.
not that. Nah, I don't know. But anyhow, H.
No. H is not as irrelevant as Green Rat is.
I like Green Rat. He's kind of funny.
He is, but he's totally irrelevant. Everything he says is a completely irrelevant.
Listen, H.
Brock Purdy is more relevant than Green Rat is.
Because if you're gonna measure health and say that Tua's this shining example of fucking health versus anyone, you fucking sound like an idiot, buddy. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. Tua's had a gazillion surgeries. He's been injured going back to high school, getting surgeries, getting things cleaned up, concussions as of late, hip injuries, all this stuff. Unless he's got some form of, super healing power, which if that was the case, he wouldn't be getting injured in the first place. It's ridiculous, bro. Don't give me that when Lamar has literally had.
Well, he does have super healing power. That's why his stat line was identical after the hit in Green Bay as it was before the hit. Because obviously, if he got hurt, then damn, because he still balled out afterwards.
No, H. You need to really understand what injuries are, what hurt is, and what the politics of football is. Black and white numbers on paper isn't how football is played or fucking won. So, anyhow, let's move on.
Real quick, real quick before you do that, I wanted to also say that I think it was, I don't want to misquote the wrong person, but if it was Alex, I want to give him credit because he actually is like, look, if we're going to bring Brady, and maybe it was somebody else that's more of a two-and-ear than Alex, or I thought it was Alex, but I thought he said, if we're going to go with Brady, you better bring him in now. Like, start him out from the beginning.
So it's funny that you say, how many games has Lamar missed in 3 seasons, when I could say how many games has Tua missed in 3 seasons. But that narrative doesn't work for you, H, because you're living in the paradigm that Tua only missed football games because of some form of conspiracy to hold his career back, which is asinine, and you sound like a fool.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because Lamar has completed a full season, more than one. So what's the point? I mean, Tua has not even finished an entire season.
Let's get to a complete season of football before we even try to measure him up to anyone else.
And he's the only person on our team with no playoff experience.
Did he ever have a complete season in college? Did Tua play a complete season in college?
I don't believe so, but I can't say that for sure.
He had one complete season. That's
complete season? Are you sure?
Which is 12 games, which is, by the way, 12 games in college.
12 games. Yeah, it's only 12 games.
Well, that's surprising.
Lamar had 4 straight seasons in college, I think, without injury or anything. When we looked at it, in comparison.
Yeah. So look, the poll is in. 44% say tight end. I kind of anticipated tight end being the position because it's flashy. We want weapons. We only have 3 tight ends on the roster.
It is a position of need. I mean, to be honest,
it is absolutely. So the kid from Michael Mayer from Notre Dame is certainly not going to be there, ladies and gentlemen. He is the creme de la creme in this entire deal. The guy I wish I could get most of all on this football team, Dalton Kincaid, he ain't going to be there either. Personally, to me, Dalton Kincaid would be a fucking legend on this football team right now, but he's not going to be there either. Darnell Washington from Georgia, who is ranked 3rd, I don't know if he's going to be there, but listen, I don't know if he gets picked in the first round. I doubt it. That would be pretty crazy if 3 tight ends get taken in the first round, because I think Kincaid and Meyer are definitely getting picked in the first round. If for some reason one of those 2 guys doesn't get picked in the first round and are there in the second, then yeah, the idea that Darnell Washington could potentially be within striking distance of the Dolphins to move up in the second round becomes all the more reality. But after, let's just, for the sake of argument, say Darnell Washington isn't there either. So Kincaid, Meyer, Washington, all off the board before the Dolphins are within striking distance or picking at 51. That starts leaving us with the next guys on the list. Next guy that they have here on the list is Luke Musgrave from Oregon, 6'6", 251 pounds. What does everyone think of this kid from Oregon, Ali? Ali? Are you there, Ali?
I'll go ahead. I was gonna say, I saw that name come across a couple days ago, my airwaves, and I don't know. I think, generally speaking, the defensive guys from Oregon have been turning out to be quite intelligent players. I mean, you look at a guy like Javon Holland, obviously, he'd fit right in here,
I am to be honest, personally, outside of Javon Holland, Oregon players they don't translate very well, at least for Dolphins.
Right.
But
I'm speaking
NFL
more towards the defense. I mean, there might be a little communication history there where they kind of feel each other,
So the comparisons that he's getting to player comparisons, I'm really liking the names as far as what we want out of a tight end here in Miami that they're comparing him to. NFL Network comparison.
So he's a tight end. I thought he was a linebacker.
No, he's a tight end, color.
Luke
Musgrave, Oregon State, 6'6", 251. NFL comparison to Dallas Goedert. That's what NFL Network has compared him to. Pro Football Focus compares him to Jared Cook. Both names I would very much like to have that type of
Jared Cook.
team.
Jared Cook could be an upgrade, but I don't know. I'm really not convinced that Dallas Goedert is any better than Durham Smythe, bro.
I agree with you, Color. I don't know if Dallas Goedert is the guy, but
I mean, he's good. I'm just saying I don't know if he's any better than Durham Smythe. You know what I mean?
So here's what NFL or Pro Football Focus has to say about Musgrave. Musgrave has the goods. He doesn't just have the refinement. The good thing is he can still contribute due to his tools while developing into much more pass catcher. Wins. He has size and speed. Musgrave has massive frame and can absolutely turn on the juice. His top speed blows past most linebackers, and his size is too much for defensive backs to handle. What he can improve in is his route running a little bit, which having John Embry around these parts still on the fucking football offensive staff would be certainly welcomed for his ability to mold these types of guys. If the route needs any semblance of nuance or a sharp break, Musgrave probably looked uncomfortable executing it on tape. The good news is he's scary enough downfield to demand cushion because he's just a friggin' monster. Again, the guy is 251 pounds, 6'6". His pros are he has elite speed for the tight end position, broke 20 miles an hour at the Senior Bowl, lab-built frame with large hands. Linebackers and safeties just sort of fall off of him in coverage. Contact doesn't seem to phase him, able to get off press because of that. The cons of him, really raw as a route runner, looks to be counting his steps in his breaks, which means that's not good. Not shifty after the catch, 2 broken tackles over entire career, doesn't utilize lower half as a run blocker, will stop feet to engage. That is not good. But those are some coachable things. route running, practice makes perfect for guys like that. I think the route running stuff that can be in. And as far as driving in blocks as a blocker, he's been a guy that's, big dude, able to use his strength. He can work on that. But both of those cons are coachable points. Musgrave, to me, could be a decent option for the Dolphins.
See, they said he had monster hands. Does he have eyes to go with those hands, man?
I mean,
they always tell us the wrong things, bro.
I don't know. So next guy they have here on the list is the dude from South Dakota, Tucker Kraft. He's 5th on the tight end list out of South Dakota State. He's 6'5", 254 pounds. NFL comparison has him to Pat Freiermuth. PFF's comparison is to Heath Miller. Let's see what PFF has to say about it.
Didn't Miller play for the Steelers?
Yes, he did. Pros, he likes to move. He moves like an athlete, very smooth in everything he does, very natural runner, plus body control on full display in open field. Well-proportioned tight end that utilizes size advantage, plays through contact. The cons: looked like a man amongst boys against low-level competition. Ooh, I don't like that. Some aspects won't translate. Speed isn't going to scare linebackers, much more of an underneath threat. Has some drop issues worth monitoring. He had 7 drops in 2021, which was 10% of what
I don't like that.
That is not good. But, I don't know how much, again, they plan to utilize targets to tight ends. I mean, we can all remember how big of an impact what's his name from the San Francisco 49ers was early in his career, but as he's settled in, it's not until late in the third and into the fourth quarter when he's been blocking all game that he slips out underneath and he's wide open downfield. That's typically how you'd like to see a tight end move. It's in the Mike McDaniel scheme and stuff like that. Next guy we've got on the list, I think the guy we all like a lot, Sam Laporta from Iowa. This guy is going to be there with the 51st pick. He's 6'3", which is a little smaller on the tight end scale, 245 pounds. He last year he had 58 receptions for 663 yards. He's averaged over his 4-year career at Iowa 11.7 yards per catch, only getting 5 touchdowns in his time there. His comparison through Pro Football Focus is Dustin Keller. Let's see. Laporta has the tools to be a difference maker at the position. That's who you want to take chances on at this position. His wins are yard after catch. Laporta is one of the best college tight ends we've graded in PFF college era. In fact, his 20 broken tackles this past season were 5th amongst our 9 years of grading tight ends. Holy shit. Did you hear that? His 20 broken tackles this past season was fifth most in the 9 years of grading. That's crazy. What he can improve on is at the catch point. Laporta is not a security blanket by any means. He struggles to haul in passes outside of his frame, which makes plays, but he makes plays through contact. He went only 18 of 44 in contested catch situations over his. Wow, that's not good. He needs to work on those hand drills. So pros electric after the catch when he does have the ball in his hand, but he's making some things go. Cons is his ball skills are nowhere reliable as far as a pass catcher, and he needs work on his on his route running. Also, strength as an inline blocker is something that he needs work on. Again, Laporta has mixed reviews. It's his yards after the catch that we're really hoping to work out on here. maybe Laporta drops in the third. I don't know. What do you guys think? Another comparison is Hayden Hurst, which is a nice comparison.
I think Laporta is going to go early third, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you think about the Dolphins passing on Laporta and going after Luke Shoemaker?
Now, Luke Shoemaker is the next tight end I really like in this draft, to be honest.
I know it. I know he is. That's why I brought him up, because I know you like him.
So one thing about him, he has really big upside when it comes to blocking. He's a vertical seam threat, and he has a lot of competitiveness. That's the top reasons to buy in, according to Draft Network. He's 6'5", 251 pounds, 32 and 7/8 inch long arms, and he has a 9-inch hand size. So that's pretty good. So he has good hands. The issue that I hear about him though is that his yards after catch is not always the best. That could be the scheme, the type of quarterback that's throwing to him. There could be various different reasons behind that. And he supposedly is not 100% on contested catches. But I think if there's any tight end that we are going to go after based on how we saw Mike McDaniel use tight ends, I think blocking is going to be the number one key to it. Yeah, I don't see them getting another Gesicki, to be honest. I just don't see that happening. We didn't have
if they were going to get another Gesicki, they've already kind of got that guy in Connor. You know what I'm saying?
That is
the
true.
Project guy.
That is true.
And he's got speed, that guy.
He does.
Which is why I'm not really a fan of drafting a tight end at all. I'm listening to all this, and I just really am not a fan of it.
I just think you can get similar. Let me explain, Color. I think that the benefit of drafting a tight end is the fact that, one, you don't have to pay, a couple $1 million for a tight end, especially if you're not going to be like throwing to them all the time. Now, I think Shoemaker fits the bill because he can block very well. And he is formidable, especially in those seam, deep routes and in other areas. I think he could be very good. His player comp is Dalton Schultz. I love Dalton Schultz. I wanted Dalton Schultz on this team more than any other tight end in free agency. So I think there's a lot of benefits.
I just think given the ability to make a difference in the offense and so many nuanced things about tight end that make the decision so easy to get wrong. I guess I should put it that way. I mean, if we're going to go for a playmaker, this is where I would make my advocacy for, which I'm not in favor of. But this is where I would, make the case for just moving up and going after the running back that McDaniel likes.
Here's the thing, Color. A Shoemaker, you're not going to pick him up in the second. No, you're going to pick.
No, he's like a fifth round pick.
He's like a fourth or fifth round pick. That's why I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about late round stuff like that, then
no. Sam Laporta, even him is a stretch at our second round pick, to be honest. And here's what I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Somebody who's going to be there late and maybe even drop as a UDFA, if you're looking for playmaking ability, is Will Mallory out of the U, who's really, a dynamic straight line speed and catcher. Although he did have a little bit of a down year last year as far as what his expectations were. He's still, the guy has averaged over his 5 years at friggin' Miami, from a true freshman back in 2018 to last year, he's averaged 13.4 yards per catch. So
right, and he's had to go against JP in practice for a couple of years.
And here's the other thing, Color. If you go look at the top tight ends in the league, the top tight ends, none of them were picked in the first round. Maybe one of them is like a second rounder, I think. But even Waller, he's with the Giants, right? Waller was like a 6th round pick, and I want to say, what's his name? The Kansas City guy. He was like a
Kelsey. He was picked in the 4th round or something like that. 4th
round. Yeah, 4th or 5th round, something stupid like that.
Yeah. So his brother wasn't picked very high either.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So what about this idea of McDaniel wanting to move up to get Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, this is the gentleman. Well, I know, but I wouldn't. I don't think that. I think it's smokescreen, sure, but I also wouldn't. If we find ourselves
I
on
wouldn't
Friday,
poo-poo it. I wouldn't poo-poo it.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
right.
it'll be a smokescreen for us to trade up in the first
The
round.
reason I say that is because this is the gentleman that started his college career in Georgia Tech, right?
Yes.
So yeah, there's valid reasons. Like, it's not a smokescreen to say Mike McDaniel likes the guy, because I guarantee you that he likes the guy, being that he worked in a triple option for a couple of years at Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? So that being said, that's why I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up being less than the smokescreen we thought.
I understand.
I just really can't imagine, all the lack of onus the Dolphins have put in the running back position for so long that Chris Greer is going to trade up to get a running back in the first round. It would just blow my mind.
Yeah, it would blow my mind. I could see us trading up like from the second round. Let's say he falls down to like the 40th pick and he's still there.
Yeah.
Then I could see
us
Hey, I'm in agreement with you. Not only do I agree with you that he wouldn't, but I also agree with why. So like I'm not a fan of doing that either. I'm just saying.
But listen, let's get on the running back situation. There's some decent running backs that are going to be lingering in the mid rounds. There's the kid from Tulane, Spears. There's the kid from Auburn, Tank Bigsby. I think all these guys can be serviceable out of the running back position. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just looking at guys like Jahmyr Gibbs. And I don't know when this happened. Well, actually, I do. Ever since Tua's come here, it's like, hey, every Alabama star needs to come to Miami now because Tua's here. It fucking grow up, Dolphin fans.
Well, ironically, he actually regressed a little in Alabama because that's kind of like a huge team compared to Georgia Tech, so he kind of got watered down in Alabama. But again, I'm not. I mean, hey,
I don't know about that color. He
Georgia
had 926 yards at Alabama.
No, he had better numbers.
Well, I'm referring to in comparison to his per capita comparison
to his
time at Georgia Tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, listen, as far as schematically fitting, Jahmyr Gibbs fits exactly the type of running back Mike McDaniel wants on this football team. I mean, literally, PFF has his comparison to Raheem Mostert. NFL Network has it as Alvin Kamara.
Who is also a zone runner. You know what I mean?
Exactly. These zone type runners are, listen. But I mean, we have some of these guys around
but
here.
He also understands reading linebackers, having ran in the triple option at Georgia Tech. He really has an intricate understanding of reading linebackers and defensive schemes to know, because a lot of these in these option schemes, the running backs also have kind of a, can benefit themselves by predicting what a quarterback's going to do, either take it away or give it. You know what I mean? And there's reasons for that. So if they're all reading the same defense, the running back will already kind of have a premonition of what the quarterback's going to do.
I'll tell you who I'm interested in as we get closer to the draft. A guy picked up late in the later rounds. I don't know if he'll be there in the 6th. I actually doubt it. I see him going in like the 4th or the 5th. Is the kid from Texas, not what's his name, but Rashawn Johnson. He's got some receptions, but he's more of a power runner. He's 6 foot, 225 pounds. His comp comparison is to like a Latavius Murray. It's a gap scheme type of runner. So I understand that it's a little bit different than the zone, but like I wouldn't be opposed to like a power guy just plummeting, just to give us a little bit of dynamics in the running back room to change from what we already have. Now, if they're not going to do something like that and they want to have this speed team, which we have, and they're going to go ahead and continue on, a guy I talked about earlier, Israel Adebanka from Pittsburgh, 5'10", 216 pounds. This guy later in the draft, I would love to get him. Comparisons to Tevin Coleman, Isaiah Pacheco. This guy has he has the ability to catch the ball, run after the catch, but his rushing ability, he's a big guy, stout frame, but has super good speed. I would like him later in the draft. You know, but then there's going to be guys that fall out of the draft, like the dude from Kansas State, guy from TCU. There's going to be guys that are around, you know, that other running back in Georgia. He's probably going to be a UDFA. Again, I think there's going to be plenty of UDFAs for them to bring in. And Color, you made this point. If you can't surpass Myles Gaskin, then, you know, you weren't worth keeping around anyhow.
Exactly.
I don't know. Something to consider. But yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, listen, it is draft week. There is the smokescreen, the misinformation campaign, the propaganda campaign from all teams everywhere is underway. We as Dolphin fans know what we would like to see, what we perceive to be as needs, guard, tackle, running back, tight end. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree. A linebacker, any one of these positions can suffice for a draft pick in the second round. How they decide to maybe maneuver amongst the draft, up or down, I don't know. But I think I might do a little bit of player profile breakdowns this week. Maybe just some shorter videos during the week, just of somebody, draft prospect to look out for, just between now and Thursday or Friday, just to have some content coming out. Maybe I'll do one or two. I'll go through all these comps and all their numbers and nonsense and things like that. Something to use as, and then once we draft any of these guys, I'll take the players in which we give all the information that we have on them, and you know, have those videos for you guys as well. But
did we ever get the poll results?
Yeah, remember, that's why we went to tight end, remember?
Oh
yeah, that's why we
tight
were
end
going
won?
with the tight end. Yeah, tight end crushed it, bro.
Wow.
44%. Absolutely myrtleized it.
Who
Again,
wants a stinking tight end?
Color, I think because Dolphins fans everywhere would love Darnell Washington, myself included. If Darnell Washington is in striking distance, 10, 12, maybe even 15 picks away, and they say, fuck it, we're going and getting him, go get him. You know what I'm saying? I would rather get a Darnell Washington and say goodbye to my 6th round pick and my 7th round pick and only have a 3rd and a 2nd round pick to go get a player that probably has the best chance of getting on the field on Sundays next year.
Fair enough.
Personally, because of the room, because of his ability, because of what we would ask him to do. That would make a lot of sense to me. But all right, guys, that's it for today. As far as the week is progressing, you can expect to see some Shake Money coming out in the afternoons. We can maybe, if you guys get at him enough, maybe Lou goes live tomorrow night with the Rabid Dolphin on Tuesdays. That's going to be coming out. I know Ali is set to do a Broken Takes this week. Color and Shake are talking about going through and riding out in the first round. You and Shake going to do that, Color? You guys working that out on Thursday?
As far as I know, I mean, I'm willing. So if Shake is,
yeah.
I'll definitely shake it up.
Dolphins won't have a
No
first
pun
round
intended.
pick, but you can expect to have Shake Money and Color commentary there just in case some shit goes down.
Yeah, you know.
And then Friday, our friend Stephen D, he's going to be doing some stuff. You'll catch the 3 of us and probably some of the other dudes coming by doing an appearance on there. But at 10 o'clock on Friday night, with the recap of what the Dolphins ended up doing in day 2 with their 2nd and 3rd round pick, you guys can come here, find us at 10 p.m. I'll be live. The team will be here, and we're going to go in and just, you know, maybe bring some people up, talk about all the good stuff, and you know, have a good time. So
Yep, definitely.
To a Talk Tuesdays with Lewis. That's what we'll call it, CCRR. To a Talk Tuesdays with the Rabid Dolphin. I like it. I thought, remember, didn't Lou have some name that he was thinking about for Tuesdays? Oh man, it was good. I can't remember what it was. It was something like that, though. It was really close to that for sure. But guys, if you haven't hit the like button, you're probably not going to hit it now. I wish you would have. Hit it after the fact. And always, guys, if you could, after the videos, leave comments afterwards. Tell me what you guys think, what you want. The comments after the videos and the engagement after the videos have ended, not in live chat, but in the post thing, it really helps the algorithm with pushing the video and the channel around. So please get into that on YouTube. And guys, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, come over to YouTube, subscribe, help us build up this network, join the membership, donate to the channel, check out all the great content. We got a bunch of us around here these days. You know, little check there for you. And we'll see you guys next time. Fins up, everybody.
Hands up, guys.
Hands up.